Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Alice and in today's video I am going to share with you the worst and least wearable trends for autumn 2024. Now if you know me, you know that I'm all about building a curated and timeless wardrobe, and honestly these are really trends that I think are going to be bad investments, mainly because they're either not practical or just not timeless enough. Now, of course, keep in mind that style and lifestyles are absolutely personal, so if these trends work for you, resonate with you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with them. This is just food for thought and entertainment mainly. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's start with a bang. I know this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I honestly think that suede is not going to be as practical as you think. And I know that I'm going against the wave here because everyone keeps raving about how beautiful and timeless suede is, and on that I actually agree. I think that suede is timeless, it's not really trendy per se. However, the reason why I don't recommend it is practicality. Suede is extremely delicate, and especially now what I'm seeing a lot in suede are big daily bulky items, things like big bags, jackets, boots. So basically we have the items that you're supposed to use on a daily basis that are the outer layer, so the most exposed to the rain and the most delicate material. That doesn't make any sense. It should be the other way around. And yes, it is true that there are a lot of things you can do to protect your suede, think at all these sprays, but those things don't do magic. If you use something on a daily basis, especially when it's something so delicate as suede, wear and tear is going to show rather quickly. And please do not trust the influencer on this point, because I know that a lot of influencers keep raving about how fantastic these products are, and they are. I use them all the time. They are extremely good. But again, they don't do magic, and you cannot compare the wear and tear that you as a normal person with a limited wardrobe will have on your items to the wear and tear that an influencer that has a massive wardrobe and that is going to use their item every once in a while. Of course they're going to have less wear and tear. I'm not entirely sure it's all because the colonial is amazing. I think it's mainly because they don't use the items as much as they tell you they do. Number two is the cropped trench coats or cropped coats in general. Now I absolutely detest this trend, mainly because I think that this is going to be short-lived, and for a very simple reason. Most of these jackets looked terrible, and I know that style and personal and there are people that can pull off almost everything, but most of these jackets are honestly terribly done. It really looks like someone took a regular coat and just chopped it off. They look absolutely unfinished, they looked weird, they just don't look well done, which means that the moment in which the trends will pass, these jackets will again flood the thrift shops and no one will want them, because who would ever want a chopped off jacket? This really looks completely unfinished and it's not going to make you look polished, edgy, it just make you look weird, in all honesty. So if you really like this trend, I would say if you really love it, at least look for those jackets that are done properly. They are rare, but there are some jackets that play into these trends that are done in a way that they look like a finished, complete jacket. And that's something that is probably going to last you a little bit longer because, again, it's a finished product. Or just go for a short jacket. Go for a jacket that is always meant to be short. You can go for a bomber jacket, an aviator jacket, a biker jacket. Like, there are plenty of jackets out there. Next, we have denim accessories, and especially boots and bags. Now, I know that this sounds contradictory because in a different video I said how denim on denim is actually a very wearable trend for this season. And this is true when you apply it to clothes. But it is not true if you apply it to accessories. And that's simply because, well, number one, clearly practicality. Denim, as any other fabric, is not really meant to be footwear, especially not in a rainy season like autumn. These things are not going to last. But also, they are going to look outdated the moment this trend is going to pass. It's not the same as having a pair of jeans or a pair of, I don't know, a denim jacket that's truly timeless. And I can say that with a good degree of certainty because this trend already went in and out a few times, and every single time, the moment the trend passed, these kind of shoes and bags became outdated immediately. Next, we have a really big and extravagant necklines or big exaggerated square shoulder pads. Now, these are technically two different trends, but I'm treating them together because they present the exact same problems. A minor one is that it is a little bit difficult to layer something that is so voluminous and that has such an extravagant shape in a season in which layering is key. But even more important is that this trend is going to be short-lived, and that's because this is very exaggerated, and with all exaggerated trends, they're not going to last. It's kind of the same as, do you remember a few years ago you couldn't find a top that had a normal pair of sleeves for the life of God? Like everything had to be super massive, poofy, had a lot of cutouts, had a lot of frills, like it was impossible to find normal sleeves. All those tops, where are they now? In the thrift shop, because no one is wearing them anymore and no one wants to buy them anymore, because once something is too extra, it's not going to last. So if you really like this trend, I would say a safer way to play with it would be to nod to the trend without going all in. So for example, you can have square shoulder pads, but without being super exaggerated ones. You can have an interesting neckline without being too extravagant. Like the one I'm wearing at the moment has a little bit more of interest. It will look more interesting also in a few years, but without looking absolutely weird or out of time. Next we have feathers, and this is actually a trend I absolutely love. I love how dramatic it is. I love the fact that it's quite versatile because you can seamlessly apply it to very different styles. You can be more edgy, you can be more elegant and still make it work. And I honestly think that it's more versatile than people think. And that's because feathers have been used in fashion since ever. So especially if you're going to use it for your special occasion wardrobe, so let's say your evening wear, then you might look definitely a little bit extra or whimsical if you wear feathers, but you're not really going to look out of place or bad, because again, it's a very luxurious material that we've been using for so long. So the reason why I'm not recommending it is truly practicality. Again, because this is a very, very delicate type of material. It's going to break easily, it's going to peel off, and when that happens, really look bad and grubby. And sometimes you can just remove the feather part and still salvage the item. It's not going to look as fancy, but you can still use it at least. But a lot of times this is actually not possible, and you have to throw everything away, which is very wasteful. So this is the reason why, although I love this trend, I'm not going to invest or partake in it. And if you really love it, I would say that you should be strategic. So choose something that has maybe a feather trim rather than something that has feathers all over, because that's going to be a lot easier to either replace or anyway salvage. Yeah, that's the main advice. Actually, I don't have a lot of other advice to make it work, because yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah, and maybe use it for really special occasion items that you're not going to use all that often, although even just keeping it in your wardrobe pressed on against other items, it's not going to last a very long time, unfortunately. So yeah, it's something that you need to be aware of. My last one is a bonus one, and I think it could be an interesting one, and that is the flat out trend. So basically what that means, it took me a while to understand it, but basically it means that the items are done in a way that instead of looking like you're wearing them, it looks like you're holding them flat, hence the name, against your body. Now, I'd say this is a bonus one because I don't think it's a wearable trend at all. I don't think it's a trend meant for normal people. Basically, I think it's a more artsy, fun, cool kind of trend. I honestly think it's quite interesting, but I don't think it's wearable for most people. And even now that it's on trend, I think you would look a little bit weird wearing it unless you really have the style and personality that goes with it. What I find it interesting is that I think, kind of similar actually to the super extravagant shoulders or neckline, actually, if you are a person that has a certain style and a certain personality, you would be able to pull it off, and you're probably going to be able to pull it off long term, because as I said, this is not really a trend that is meant for the masses. So you are going to look in a niche anyway, and you're going to probably be able to pull it off regardless whether it is on trend or not. So all of that to say that, as always, as I said at the beginning, style is personal. So these are general rundowns of things that could or could not be practical or timeless. But if something works for you, if you have the perfect style and the trend works perfectly for you, by all means, this is the right time to go shopping, because when else are you ever going to find a flat out kind of jumper, if not now? So always apply everything to your own situation. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. I do all video about fashion, but in a more realistic and sustainable way. So if you're interested in that, that would be great if you come back here. And until next time, bye!